very happy to introduce you and have you begin our day for us. Thank you.
Well, it's a real honor and pleasure to be here, especially for this walk. I don't think so.
Come in.
Oh, come in closer.
Come in.
So, Katsitsiase Yumjat, Ogwari, and I'm here in Belleville, and we're on the walk for the water. And so I've been asked that I'm honored to do the opening, the Ohundagar Dakwa. So before we begin, we always introduce who's speaking, and because the spirits hear us. And so there's no guessing who is doing the speaking, and why I'm speaking, and where I am. And so that's why we introduce ourselves before we start. And so I want to say, first of all, I want to acknowledge the ancestors for, leaving this way of life for us, and for walking and embracing us every day. And so to use, I acknowledge all the ancestors and all those that have went on before me. So I'll start now with the Ohundagar Dakwa. Deyati nu radone ungwe su'a oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone yeti ministahan jiyo hinjade oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone gahne garunyo. Oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone ganjo su'a oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone otera su'a oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone jon hekwa oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone gahi su'a oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone gandirio oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone gahi su'a oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone gorundu suandaro gade su'a oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone ojida abu'a oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone ojida abu'a oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone yoji stokarun yoji skanyage oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone yeti sutta santuneka garakwa oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone yeti sutoko radi wears oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone Dechite waradone sungwat dia jokaneka garakwa oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone gayeri niyang gwedike oni duhak nipot nigula. Deyati nu radone yeti sutta deyati nu radone Dechite waradone sungwayaki and if I've left anything out, it's not my intention. So to use, I say now. So first of all, I acknowledge the ancestors, and then I acknowledge Mother Earth, and then I acknowledge the waters, the blood that flows within Mother Earth. And then I acknowledge the fish and everything in the waters. And then I acknowledge the roots with which we are, the roots. So of the trees, so I acknowledge the roots. I acknowledge the grass, the three sisters, corns, beans, and squash. and I acknowledge the berries and the strawberry being the leader, and then the raspberry of the bushes, and then I acknowledge the four-leggeds, the animals, and the deer being the leader, and then I acknowledge the birds, the winged ones, for their beautiful songs, and then I acknowledge the trees, and then I gave thanks also to everything here on earth. And then I moved into the universe, and I give thanks to the stars, our ancestors. And then I gave thanks to Grandmother Moon. And I gave thanks to the sun, our eldest brother, the sun. And I gave thanks to the thunders. And I gave thanks to the four directions and the four sacred beings that travel with us every day. And then I gave thanks to Sugwayat Diso, the Creator. And in the end I said, if there was anything I've forgotten, that's up to you to fill that in. So this is what we always give thanks. First thing in the morning, you know, when you hear the birds singing, you know they're giving thanks, and they're reminding us, human beings, to be grateful and to give thanks. And then in the end of the day, you hear them again singing and giving thanks for that day and asking that may there be a tomorrow for them, just like for us. So the natural world is always reminding us of our responsibilities and our duties. And so it's really, really wonderful, you know, to see people are still moving forward in the way that our ancestors knew and taught us. So I'm so grateful to be here, and especially the Walk for the Water. And that, you know, that's our first responsibility when we come here. And, you know, life here, there's always an exchange for the life here. For everything we do, you know, there's always that exchange. And so for the water, we, you know, that's our first responsibility, because when we give birth, that's the first thing that comes. And plus, we're protected inside by the water. So again, I just want to say Nyawakoa and miigwech, and thank you for this opportunity to be able to share this short time with you. So, okay. Where do you turn that?
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you? How's Jack?
Hi. And to the waterfront, and then along to George Street Park, where there are people. We'll be singing along to the tune of, well, it's the week, not the whole world. The fate of the world is up to us. We have the whole world. Hey, you go this way.
She's gone ahead.
Okay. Nancy and you lead on so we know where we're going. I just need that. Yeah. All right, Anna, we got the whole planet in our hands. We got the whole planet in our hands. We got the whole
I see her.
We got the whole world in our hands.
But that's just my idea.
Well, somebody should have that sign. We got that.
any new?
Give me some news that's true about the Fort Mac wildfire.
The biggest fire in all of Canadians' history. So hot it's burning at 1,000 degrees, wiping out everything, even burning the ground as it goes.
Sad.
As predicted by climate scientists.
How can you politicize this human tragedy?
This is science. Climate change is science, not politics. Physics is physics.
Well, at least 88,000 people were successfully evacuated.
Yay!
What about the animals?
And what about the animals? They didn't have a press agent. And those 88,000 people are now climate refugees. Call them what they are. Yay!
Yay!
Maybe the workers affected by climate change the most, like the workers at Fort Mac, can have the first crack at the new green economy jobs that are being promised.
Yay! Because for every dollar invested in clean energy, there's 3 times as many jobs created as in oil and gas. No, and at least there weren't any people.
I've got other news.
But I just want to make this point. At least, despite the tragedy, there were no reports, or hardly any, of death or injury.
Yay! What she said about the wildlife. What she said.
What she said.
What she said. What she said.
Yay!
About the wildlife.
Boo! Okay, Fort Mac. What else is new?
I've got lots of news here that we see. Other wildfires.
Boo!
Drought. Floods. Violent storms. Predictions of millions of climate refugees. Wait, here's one. Nature Conservancy says by the year 2050, 1/4 of all species on the planet will be extinct due to climate change.
No, I read in Science magazine it's only 1/6 of all species.
Yay!
Much better.
Oh, boo yay! 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 Boo yay!
I am getting sort of sick of all this bad news. Now, this ocean, do you have any news?
Well, there's good news and bad news. Good news? Yay! Bad news? Boo! Boo yay! Boo yay! Boo yay! Boo yay! You will have the facts.
While you're recording, you could sign a petition or something to it. I need equality. Deal.
Yay! Let's have a yay!
Yes.
Equality.
Pollyanna, the good news girl. Okay, there is good news.
Good news.
For example, 2 youngsters in Bali, aged 10 and 13, when they started, launched a campaign to get rid of all plastic bags on their beautiful island. They started with petitions, they did TED Talks, they finally went on a hunger strike, and in March, the governor of Bali agreed to ban all plastic bags.
Yay! Call off the rally in Bali.
So people can affect change, even children. And in March or last month, 177 nations signed the Paris Climate Agreement, and Justin Trudeau signed for us.
Yay! But wait, there's huge forces against these actions. There's big oil, there's big nuclear, there's big corporations, there's big inertia due to thinking the status quo could somehow continue.
Boo.
Boo. And Justin actually doesn't want to link natural disasters to climate change. So the really good news is that today we are joining people all across the world in climate actions to remind our leaders to keep the promises they made in Paris. Thank you all for helping to do that. And I thank her splendiferousness, Jan, who comes not as the Pope, but only to pontificate, will give us some more good ideas about how we can all affect change. Thank you.
I'm here today dressed as one of my great global heroes. I'm here to emulate, not imitate, His Holiness Pope Francis today. I would like to share some of this great man's important statements with you. His words and actions are making history regarding the protection of the environment. Pope Francis has been more forceful than his predecessors in his often harsh and anguished calls for urgent action on climate change. Last year, he issued the first ever papal encyclical. That's a really long letter written by popes. In this 184-page historical document, he states that this earth is the common home of humanity, that it is being gravely threatened by our abuse, and he calls upon every global citizen to work together to safeguard the planet. He has addressed the United Nations and Congress on this matter, and he is using the power of the papacy, along with his immense popular appeal, to press the world's political leaders to take forceful steps to reduce greenhouse gases. Praise the Pope! Praise the Pope! Here are just a few samples of what he has said. I believe that we have exploited nature too much. When we destroy our forests, ravage our soil, and pollute our seas, we betray our responsibilities. The earth, our home, is beginning to look more and more like an immense pile of filth. In many parts of the planet, the elderly lament that once beautiful landscapes are now covered with rubbish. He asks that the relationship between humans and nature not be driven by greed, to manipulate and exploit, but that the divine harmony between beings and creation be conserved in the logic of respect and care. He says that our common home is being pillaged, laid waste, and harmed with impunity. Cowardice in defending it is a grave sin. Oh! Yay! We're not cowards. Pope Francis is joined by the Dalai Lama, leading Muslim clerics, the United Nations. It is called for serious, immediate, and sustained action to address climate change. And of course, indigenous peoples from around the world have been involved in that struggle all along. Before I close, I would like to say, would you hold this for me, my child? Thank you.
before I close, I would like to say that all of these issues can be quite overwhelming. There is one suggestion of how we can break it down into layers and manageable components, and that is to think about it in layers of the personal, the interpersonal, and the structural. And I'd like to just give you a couple of examples of each. The personal level. Things that we can do on a personal level that don't depend on anybody else. For example, Pope Francis has changed his fleet of limos out for much smaller and more fuel-efficient Ford Focus cars. I believe I'm going to do the same. I'm going to get rid of my fleet of limos and go to the I suggest that you get rid of your limousines and your big gas-guzzling vehicles, or ride your bike, or take public transit whenever you can. And keep challenging yourself to think of what you can do personally to care for the planet. The interpersonal. You can talk about it. Talk about it. It's one of the most difficult things to do. That is to speak up about these issues, but we can no longer afford to stay silent. Do you think it's easy to get up in public dressed as a pope? We have to continue to find new and creative ways to speak up and speak out. And at the structural level, push the government to keep the promises they made in Paris. Yay! Send them postcards. Sign and share petitions. And sign up for our email list so you can keep in touch with our local actions. We are all here today, and this is a fine example of all three levels. The personal decision that you made to come, the interpersonal decision that you made to be here with others, and your structural decision to stay attached and keep on shouting. Woo! Yay, all of us! And I believe passed around, written especially for this occasion.
Yes, thank you very much. You all love to sing.
And it's to the tune of You Are My Sunshine. You are our planet, our only planet. You keep us healthy, whole and red. We can keep you safe forever if we only use our head. You are our oceans, our only oceans. We fill with plastic every day. We need to get that plastic out of there so the fish and dolphins can play. You are our forest, our only forest, but we are cutting you away. We need to plant you and protect you so we can breathe easy every day. You are our planet, our only planet. You keep us healthy, whole and fed. We can keep you safe forever if we only use our head.
Do I say now? And then I want to acknowledge Mother Earth for continuing to support us as we talk about her on Earth and all life here. So to you, again, I acknowledge you and say now. Then I want to acknowledge the waters, all the waters in the world, for continuing to flow and give us sharing the blood of Mother Earth and all the waters that run within Mother Earth's veins. I want to say now. Then I want to acknowledge the four-leggeds and say now at yous for continuing to fight and for your life and also for supporting our lives. So again, now, then I want to thank the foods, the Teresa's to embrace the life so that us human beings can enjoy it as well. So to you now. Then I want to acknowledge the beautiful trees and all the things that they give us, and for working so hard to try to keep the air clean and so that we may breathe and enjoy life here. So again, to use now. Then I want to thank the birds for reminding us about being grateful every day and to give thanks for that day should we be able to wake up and enjoy this beautiful life here. So to you, the birds, I want to say now for continuing to remind us of our responsibilities and to always be grateful. So now. Then I want to acknowledge the universe for continuing to support Mother Earth and also support us, especially the sun, our eldest brother, for continuing to shine on us and smile on us every day. And so to you I say, now again, for all the gifts that you give us and the wonderful energy. So then I want to acknowledge the thunders for coming and bringing that fresh water and not forgetting us human beings here. And I ask that you forgive us for the things that we do to harm the water and Mother Earth. So to you now. Then I want to turn my mind now to the four sacred beings again and say now go to you for continuing to travel with us as we walk about here on earth. So to you now. I want to acknowledge the ancestors also for continuing to embrace us and be with us, and also to say Nyawa for the wonderful teachings that you have shared and give to us so that we may enjoy this life here on earth. So to you I say Nyawa. And then last I want to acknowledge Sumbayat Iso, the Creator, for continuing to support us as we walk about. And I ask that, you help us to use a good mind and to always have love in our hearts and to forgive those that have done things to harm each and every one of us at some point, or also to forgive us for harming your great creation. And also I ask that you push your brother to the side so that he will understand his place here in creation and not to be bothering us human beings, so that we can use a good mind and good heart and not put us to such a hard challenge. So to you, Sungwayat Niso, I ask of this from my heart. And so again, I want to say Nyawagoa for this beautiful, wonderful life, and for all the beautiful gifts that you've given each and every one of us. So to you I say now, and I send my love. Thank you.